So I had a bad day yesterday. Not the whole day, but like it was just like something that happened in the morning that then basically like ruined my whole day. So like I take a shower, like, you know, having breakfast and everything is normal, and then I take a shower and I'm looking at myself in the mirror as I dry off, and I go, "Ooh, mustache is getting a bit long. It's you know, like I gotta trim that." And like normally it wouldn't be a problem because I would have been to the hairdressers by now, but like because of the way the world is, I haven't been. So I went, well, that's okay. I'll just take care of it myself. And usually, like, trimming my mustache isn't a problem. It's something I've done now for a number of years, and it's generally like a pretty straightforward process. And like the way, I have a process for the way I like to do it. What I do is I'll grab my mustache and kind of like pull it taut, kind of like the way hairdressers cut hair, but I do it for a mustache, and then basically cut like, you know, a finger's width worth of hair, because that's generally how long it gets when I start to notice. And then trim that, and boom, and then it makes like a really nice, you know, roughly it lines up with like my lip so that like it's out of my mouth, and it looks really nice.
Except, do you somehow, and I would love to get your thoughts on this, Johnny, because you're the mustache connoisseur around here. Do you moisturize your mustache before you give it a friendly trim?
No, I don't moisturize before, but I do moisturize after.
Do you have to lubricate before chopping? I don't know if...
It's entirely dependent on what you're doing. So, like, if you're going to go full shave, like if you're going to go all the way back to the skin, then I would say you probably should. But I don't. Like, I'm not going, like, it's literally just like a trim. It's like I just take a little bit off, you know, just take a little off the top, so to speak. And so, like, I'm not going up against the skin or anything like that. In fact, I try and avoid touching the skin with my trimmer. But you always end up doing it a little bit, and so that's why I moisturize afterwards, just to make sure I don't have razor rash. And I've got I've got this absolutely fantastic beard balm for it that I use, and you just a little bit of that. It smells really nice too. It's not too strong. Like I got one that's kind of like a medium strength smell that's really nice. And yeah, it just moisturizes and cools the skin afterwards. And again, like
does
I said,
it have a bit of a cucumber flavor to it or a smell?
It does. It's got a pine sort of a smell to it, is the best I can describe it.
Yeah, I like that.
Still the rugged man there, John. Still the rugged man.
Oh yeah, absolutely, for sure. And I can't. I'd have to go and get the bottle if I wanted to but like I can't even pronounce like one of the words on it anyway. I think it's not pine, it's cypress. I think specifically is the smell. But it's really, really nice. Anyway, so I use a little bit of that, and I only need a little bit because, again, I'm trying to not touch the skin and stuff like that anyway. Just because, I mean, one of the big reasons why I have a beard is because, like, razor rash is, like, a big thing for me. I got sensitive skin under here. But for some reason, I don't know what it was. Maybe the sun was glinting in my eye or I don't know what, but I accidentally trimmed off a little more of my mustache than I was, like, expecting. And I didn't know this until I like trimmed the mustache, and then I look back in the mirror just to like make sure that I'd got where I wanted to go, and now it looks like I've got like a big cut in my mustache.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I've got this kind of like weird like straight line away from my lip, and that goes straight down, and it kind of looks like a square. It's just I don't know what the hell happened, but I just like completely botched it. It was only on one side though. I like nailed it on the other side. The other side, like if you looked at me, like, you know, only one half of my face, one half looks great. Like I did a really great job. The other half though looks absolutely garbage. Oh my God. And there's nothing
it
for it.
You just you probably went, oh crap, I feel a bit more naked up here than I intended it to be originally.
Yeah, well that's it. No, I did. I had that oh shit moment. But also like I don't know. I had that oh shit moment, and then I very immediately realized I was like, literally nobody is going to see this. Like, I mean, which is not true because I'm 100% taking a picture and posting it to Instagram. 100%. If you go to at Pint.party, I'm 100% going to post this fuck up because like I can't not at this point. But at the same time, like, yeah, it just kind of like puts a downer on your day. I've never had that situation before. I've never had a bad beard
Especially when
day.
you're usually doing it in the morning or like when you first start your day.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, it's only downhill from here, isn't it?
That's right. Oh, that's exactly right. Yeah. And that's on top of the fact that the day before I had a bit of a bad day. Although the day before wasn't. I wouldn't classify as a bad day. It was just sort of like a bad start to the day, and that is that like my phone. I use my phone for my alarm clock. And it went off at the correct time, and then I'm one of those people who likes to hit the snooze button. Y'all like to hit the snooze button?
Yeah.
I love.
Twice.
Yeah, for sure. I love a good snooze button. I like hitting my. In fact, my one even has you can on my phone now. You can even determine how long until the thing goes off again right there in the alarm. So you can set it for like 5, 10, 15, whatever minutes. And I just leave it at 5 minutes, and I just hit that snooze button. And I like to lie there for 5 minutes and just be like, yeah. Like I can kind of sleep in for 5 minutes and feel like I'm sleeping in when I'm really not. But if I'm not careful, I will just fall back asleep. But that's okay because then the thing goes off and we start this whole song and dance again. But somewhere in that 5 minutes between my phone going off and it going off again, it ran out of battery.
Oh, serious?
Yeah. So I ended up drifting off back to sleep. And then like waking up again and not realizing that I'd fallen asleep and going, it's been a minute since my phone went off. It should have gone off again. I'm going to check the time, and I check the time, and the phone won't open, and I'm like, oh shit. And then I have to go and ask my my smart device what the time is, and she tells me, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, well, fuck. Like, great, cool. I've just slept in. Cool.
What was the original time you were going to wake up? Or what time did you set the alarm to? And then what time were you going to go, okay, this is the time I want to get out of bed and start my day?
All right, so during the week, so it's different on the weekends, but during the week, I get up at the alarm goes off at 7:30, and I typically am out of bed by 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and that's or at 8 o'clock to 8:30, depending on if I browse Reddit for a bit first thing in the morning, which or check my notifications and stuff in bed. Sometimes I just get straight out of bed. It's entirely dependent on what my bladder wants. Like if my bladder's like, bro, we got to go right now, then that's what I'm doing. But otherwise, I'll browse Reddit or something, and that's kind of my morning routine right there. Ugh. It's a hard life, really is.
It's the hardest life possible, that's for sure.
Oh, fuck yeah. These are first world problems to the fucking max. And with that, welcome to Pint Party, a podcast designed to turn a beer and a chat into a tax write-off. I'm your host, John McLeish. Joining me this week is Lachlan Beasley and Michael Thompson. Boys, welcome.
Hello.
Hello. Well, I will say, though, that you're probably the only person I know that goes on Reddit as the first thing in the mornings when you wake up. I thought most people would go on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram just to check if they got any notifications during the course of the night. But I applaud you, Mr. McLeish, for jumping on Reddit straight away as soon as you wake up in the morning. Yeah,
I understand that. And I used to do that. But I don't know, I just stopped. I basically stopped using Facebook, completely. I just don't use it anymore. I still have it though, because family members have it.
Isn't that the issue?
I mean, yeah, that's kind of why I don't use it. Is also part of it. Yeah.
I feel like the day that you got a friend request from any of your close relatives, that's the day when you think maybe it's time for me to move on from Facebook. Maybe my dad doesn't need to see the photos of me holding, a bottle of vodka at an 18th 6 years ago. Is that really worth? No.
Oh, I don't give a shit about that. I've got a picture of me, licking whipped cream off of a woman's chest on Facebook that my whole family could see if they wanted to. None of them have. It's up there, and when it got posted, I was because at the time the only family member I had was my mum, and I was like, oh, she's gonna see that. She's probably not gonna be pleased. And then months go by, honest to God, months go by, and I'm fully expect every now and again I think about it and go, I haven't gotten a message yet or a phone. Is she storing this away? If I fuck up again, is she gonna bring this out? How fucked am I? Although, is this is she keeping this for mutually assured destruction? Oh my God, how in trouble? And so I found a way to to broach the subject with my mum. The next time, a few months later, and I was like, "So, you been on Facebook recently?" And my mum was like, "Oh, dude, I haven't been on Facebook in a year." And I'm like, okay, cool.
That's all right.
Yeah, all right.
Just checking. Thank you for letting me know that you haven't been on Facebook for 365 days.
Yeah. It's great. So, I mean, so at that point, basically, any members of my family that are on Facebook, I mean, at this point, since then, I've gotten some more, including my 100-year-old grandfather. He's on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah, he really is. He doesn't use it personally. His is administered by my uncle, but he calls the shots on his Facebook page.
It's brilliant. Well, he's the director of his own Facebook page, but he doesn't do any of the actual
technical work. No. No. So yeah. So basically, what'll happen is like if my grandfather sees something cool or my uncle takes a cool picture or whatever like that, he'll just say, he'll just go, "Oi, take a picture of that, put that on Facebook." Like he'll just do it. I think originally he called it Google, but then he learned very quickly. Like he's a smart bloke, and he went, "No, it's not Google, it's Facebook." Oh right, yeah, okay, it's Facebook. Yeah, put that on Facebook, and he'll say that, and then it'll just like So he won't put in any captions and stuff. Like that's still my uncle. But yeah, he'll like call the shots on photos and things like that. But again, never had a message from any of them saying, "Hey, by the way, what's with this salacious image?"
I was gonna say, I'll say your 100-year-old grandfather. He pretty much, your uncle sounds like he's now your grandfather's PR for Facebook. Pretty much, like he's like a celebrity.
Oh, dead set. Yeah,
and basically the uncle's just like your grandfather goes, put that on Facebook, and your uncle goes, okay, sort of thing. Like, so it's like every other celebrity right now who've got their own PR people, and their PR people literally put all the stuff on their Facebook pages and that sort of stuff. So technically, your grandfather is a celebrity, but no one knows he's a celebrity.
Oh yeah, dead set. Yeah, that's what's going on there, straight up. Yeah. So that's I just don't use Facebook anymore. Like it just hasn't been a thing, except for Facebook Messenger. I love Facebook Messenger. I really do.
It's easily the most simplistic and most easily accessible out of all the messenger apps.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, totally is. And it's just really great for just like my favorite feature of it that like well, Discord technically has it, but not enough people really use Discord, so therefore you don't have the critical mass of users, which kind of detracts it from there. But like, what I really like is the little head that moves around so you see which message they've read. Like, that's a really helpful feature, which fucking shits me up the wall that Slack doesn't have this. Why the fuck does Slack not have this as a feature?
Well, you'd think for being a messenger app designed for businesses, that would be kind of like a key thing.
Absolutely. Like, you want to make sure, like, in a critical business situation, environment type of a thing, and also Slack is designed to replace email. So it's like, it's supposed to try and be better than email. And email has read receipts. So, like, the fact that it doesn't have any kind of a feature to say, yes, you've sent off a Slack message instead of an email saying, my computer shit's fucked to the IT people, basically like submitting a ticket, you can't say, oh, yes, they've seen it. And like, so therefore you're in the system and they'll get to you when they get to you, sort of a thing. So yeah, that annoys me the most about Slack, that it doesn't have that feature. But
maybe that's a future update for Slack to potentially look into and sort of get that as an actual application that they could potentially have moving forward once they have their next big update.
Oh my God, I hope so. I really, really hope so, because that'd be just grand. Speaking of Slack, actually, by the way, and it's kind of a congregation, because I saw it on Reddit, but it's a Slack thing. There's a group of people, I don't know what their association is, whether they're like a comedy group or just a group of friends or something like that, but they've created a whole Slack server called Dunder Mifflin Paper Company, and they're converting all 9 seasons of The Office into Slack conversations.
Oh my God.
So like, if The Office happened today, like, that's what it is. And like, anybody can join and just like read it. And so like, I think they're doing it once a week or something. They're like doing an episode a week or an episode a day, I'm not sure. But yeah, like, and they've created Slack accounts as like all the characters, and with all the appropriate channels and everything.
That is fantastic, and it's almost as fantastic as like the cast of Community actually getting on Zoom together and doing a live reading of all 6 seasons. They've been doing too.
Do you know what's another thing I saw, like not in TV or on media, but on Spotify actually? There was I got a little blip, and it turns out the first chapter of the first Harry Potter, read by Daniel Radcliffe, was available.
Oh, no shit!
Out, each one of the actors are doing like a chapter each.
Oh,
and
cool.
They're just reading the books. Yeah, so it's just like Daniel Radcliffe at home. You can like tell he's just doing it off his phone, because like there's like so much background noise.
I actually heard about this too, Locke. I actually heard it on another podcast that Daniel Radcliffe had read the first chapter of the first book of Harry Potter, which I thought was phenomenal. So I definitely need to. I'm going to do that this weekend. I'm going to listen to Daniel Radcliffe reading
his
the first
voice
chapter.
Is very riveting. I really get quite captivated by the way he tells the story.
Yeah,
it's like he's been the character. He's been in the headspace, and it's funny because it's not Harry Potter reading it. It's Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a very much a difference between the two.
How much passion does he put into reading this?
Like, you can tell he's just reading. Like, it's not like he's reading lines for preparing for the actual movie. It's more like he's just an actual, just like us, a normal reader, and he's just going through the motions. And I think it's quite relaxing, to be honest.
Right, yeah. So he's not putting like a thespian slant on the whole thing.
He's not taking it up a notch. He knows that
Hagrid looks down at the young boy and says, "You're a wizard, Harry." You know, he's not like doing like little voices and stuff.
No, like, unfortunately, no. I wish he did more Hagrid. Unfortunately, he just sticks to doing Daniel. But it's still good. It's definitely worth a look, and I quite enjoy all these actors kind of using this time productively.
Oh my god, I would love to hear his take on the Dursleys. You know,
yeah,
36. Last year I got 37. Well, some of these presents are quite a bit larger this time. I don't care how big they are. That's that whole scene. That's the only bit of that scene that I can recite word for word.
That is phenomenal. Thank you for that, Johnny.
But like, I would love to hear like him like take a crack at that. Oh my god. But yeah, otherwise he's just reading it. Just I can't remember the kid's name. Fucking Dursley or something. Was like,
Dudley?
Dudley was very upset and said 36, but last year I had 37. Like, I mean, I feel like it loses something when you do it monotone.
I actually can't wait to hear Neville Longbottom read a chapter. It'd be very interesting to see, because I think he does a lot of staging stuff himself now, post Harry Potter, so I'm actually looking forward to if he gets the opportunity to actually read a chapter from one of the books, sort of what kind of spin he put on it.
Wonder what his voice is like.
we will not be able to hear Alan Rickman's chapter.
No,
that's unfortunate.
That would be the best one. That would easily be the best. I would love to hear Alan Rickman just read an entire chapter of Harry Potter, just as Snape, as Alan Rickman. I don't mind.
Yeah, or actually, you know who would still do it? Who's still around? I can't remember the actress's name. The lady who was the herbology professor.
Oh,
what's her name? Oh my god, I can't remember her name.
I don't know. I can't quite point the actress.
Yeah,
neither.
She's going to do a TV special here in Australia soon. I can't remember her name though, but she's great. She has got, holy crap. You want to listen to someone with some fucking wild stories? Like, she has got some wild stories. Holy damn. Like, she looks like she talks like a very prim and proper English lady, but then, she's just sort of like, yeah, I just like blew a guy on the side of the road in World War II. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, straight up. I was like, what the shit? She tells that whole story on like one of those talk shows. I watched it. It's on YouTube. Like, she's just got some absolutely bananas stories.
I'm glad she's so openly open about mentioning this on live TV too.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, her. I remember. I think she even discussed that. She's like, when you get to my age, who gives a shit? And I was just like, yeah, right on. Like, fuck you, rock. Like, hell's yeah. But I think her rendition of a chapter would actually be really, really good. If I can only remember her name. Oh, I'm gonna Google it. Herbology professor.
I will say this though.
Well, you go, Michael. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. I was gonna say while John was Googling it, I was just going to say, going back to your point there, Lockie, about potentially Alan Rickman, if he was still with us, I would love for him to actually read one of the books that had like 600 pages so that he could read the chapter that had page 394, which he mentioned in, I think, the second or third movie of Harry Potter, when he goes to the page 394. And I would love for him to actually just say that as he puts it over. He's like, now this is the page from 394 of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, or something like that.
It's so good. I tell you who is like a really good audiobook narrator, Stephen Fry.
Oh god, yeah.
Like, he is so good at reading books. Like, he wouldn't have to do any other job. Just pay that man. He'll do it.
Yeah. Oh my! I could listen to him read the fucking phone book. Like, holy shit, he's so good.
I could actually read the Bible if there was an audio book of him reading the Bible.
I could actually see Stephen Fry sitting in front of a fireplace drinking some brandy or some whiskey and just reading. Yeah, and reading like and reading like a massive book about something, and it just feel like he's just enjoying himself while doing so because he's in such a very cozy position.
Oh, here is she. Here, I got the actress's name, Miriam Margolyes.
Oh,
yeah. She's great. Oh my god, like you should absolutely Google her and like check out like or actually no, look her up on YouTube. There's a whole bunch of like she did she just told absolutely wild stories. But yeah, and she's doing a TV series here in Australia at the moment, which is like it's less on the comedic side. It's more like just like touring Australia. Like it's a bit of a travel show. I feel like it's more designed for the British market, but they filmed it here and they're just like, well, I mean, it's right here, so we may as well put it on the telly because why not? Speaking of fanciness, let's move on from like Harry Potter. How about let's do something a little different. So we're called Pint Party, and typically we talk about beer because beer is like the thing we like to drink, but we are called Pint Party. And I suppose in the name it implies beer, but realistically, like I feel like in the spirit of
it's just a glass. You can put wine in a glass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's my thought. Like in the spirit of Pint Party, realistically, not everybody is going to have a pint of beer in their hand. Some people are going to have a glass of wine, and some people who are just sort of like going full YOLO are going to have a pint of wine in their hands because fuck it, why not? You only live once.
They actually started making stubby holders for wine glasses now. It's great.
Get the fuck out. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Holy shit. How does
I
that
actually buy some.
Like it's almost like adds grip tape to the bottom of your stem. It's fantastic.
I'm trying to.
I must say though, it's probably only useful if you're drinking real chilled wine. But
yeah,
it still happens.
Well, how many wines are you drinking that are Sub-Zero though? Because like as far as I know, you want to drink it near like some wines you'll drink near zero, but not Sub-Zero.
Like we're not taking into account of goon sacks because they always got to be cold, John.
Yes. No, that's goon. No, I'm talking actual like wine from grapes, not bogan piss.
Well, bogan piss is also made out of grapes, so you got to understand that.
No, I'm looking at wine glass like stubby holders, and it looks like somebody sewed a bra to a wine glass. Like it's just completely ridiculous.
Just to add a little bit of traction, really.
Even Dad use a bra.
Oh my god.
Your hands are very delicate, John. You don't want to be going around just touching glassware. You got that stubby. Always got to have your stubby.
Oh yeah, no, this is like the plastic sheet on the couch levels of like, oh, don't fuck up my crystalware. Like that's what this is for sure.
But yeah, so we're talking about wine for a change.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about wine for a change.
We're not just going to sit around here because I know a couple of weeks ago we did just chat about wine, and that seemed a little douchey. But we're going to make it a little more accessible for you guys listening, and
That's
we're going to do talking about pairing with donuts, as what John has discovered in his morning Reddit sessions.
That's right. Yeah, somebody popped this up. Believe it or not, I actually found this on the Blender subreddit. Of all places, somebody just like posted it over for different reasons. But like basically, I just read the headline, and the headline was donut and wine pairings. Now, I've heard of cheese and wine pairings. I've heard of like meat and wine pairings and things like that. I've even seen some real like Kath and Kim level stuff where it was like breakfast and wine pairings. And I was sort of like, oh yeah, like you get your Kellogg's cornflakes is really pairs really nicely with a Merlot or a Cab Sav or something. I can't remember what it actually was now. This was years ago, and I was like, all right, that's kind of insane, but all right, cool.
Knowing Kath, it was probably a Pinot Gris.
Pinot Gris. Yes, it's different. It's different. It's unusual.
Nice. Different. It's unusual.
Yeah, it's different. So yeah, so like it was something like that. But donuts, I was like, okay. How does that work? And it's funny because I looked at the comments and all the comments were just completely shoot. It was just sort of like, this is the worst pairings I've ever seen, which made me actually like believe the list, because any list that gets actively criticized by like wine people means it's a list worth looking at.
Do you know what's even funnier, John? Because I'm looking at the image that you sent me, the watermark in the bottom. I was a bit curious about what that was, and I actually looked up what it was.
Oh, okay.
Did you go that far?
No, I never went that far.
What is it like?
It's actually an Australian company that's done this little meme.
Oh, really?
And they make electronic bottle openers. and like aerated for wine.
Oh.
I'll send you the thing, John.
Yeah, just post it in Discord. Oh no, wait, you can't. Yeah, no, send it to me. However you're gonna send it to me, dude.
I was gonna say this is something I would definitely see Daniel's Donuts going down the route of in
Like,
about 5-10 years when they go stuff it. If we want to do even better business than what we're doing now, let's get adventurous and put some wine inside some donuts and see how that works.
But it's not just wine. Like what these guys have done is like they've just paired what they think is like the basic wines with like a good donut. And this is different to Drunken Donuts, which is opened up in Melbourne, and I think there's a few other places around the world that probably do something similar, but where they've actually done like infusions and they've put the alcohol inside a dessert or something or a cream, and then kind of made it within the donut. So this is what like the new thing's done, and I've got some just some references as well about Drunken Donuts. Like they've got a coffee and rum donut. They have a pina colada one. They have a Nutella cognac one.
Nutella cognac.
I'm pretty keen on the apple whiskey.
There's an apple whiskey as well. Yeah.
I'm just having a look at this this automatic aerator thing, which by the way starts at $670. Like
very, very pricey.
They are
definitely not something you're not getting a mate for his 18.
They are no, unless you're rich and your mate really likes Nangs. Because I feel like this is like it just the aerator thing looks like a thing you could use for Nangs.
That's just the Springvale in you, like.
I mean, they've got two Nang capsules right there in the picture with their branding on it and everything.
It looks like a leaf blower upside down.
Yeah, it does. But that's what I mean. It looks like a thing you'd use for Nangs, but you don't want people knowing you do Nangs.
What a fancy tool.
It is. It's like I don't fully understand how it all works, but like it's cool. It's certainly cool.
I find it interesting that this company's made this little meme though.
Yeah.
So just to break it down for people, they've got the basics. They got a Chardonnay, a Merlot, a Rosé, a Malt Blanc, a Prosecco, a Cab Sav, Pinot Grigio, and then a Chenin Blanc, which I've actually never had before.
I've never heard of it. That's the only of all of these wines. I've heard of all of these wines except for the Chenin Blanc. I have no idea what that is.
I've not tasted the Chenin Blanc either, but I will say the Pinot Grigio is really not.
It's a French. Yeah, it's a French white.
I mean, I figured it was French from Blanc, but like, I've never tried that one before. Actually, well, okay, I've never tried most of these wines, but I've heard of most of these wines because, like, I think I mentioned it a little while ago. My mum was part of a wine club. She still is apparently. I talked to her on Mother's Day, which was just a little while ago. I gave her a ring and said, "G'day." Had a bit of a gas bag, and I brought it up. I was like, did you ever get around to drinking those wines? Like, because all I ever did was see you label them and put them away. She was like, "Yeah, I did. Yeah, I drank them." She's it's like through her, I like through osmosis, like understand what these wines are. But apparently some of the pairings are really bad. Apparently because donuts are particularly sweet, that it would destroy the flavor of a lot of these wines. People reckon.
There's some that I kind of do agree with that, and just like I'm not going to call myself an expert or whatsoever, like, but I do like donuts and I do like wine. Yeah. So and I have a butthole, so therefore I should be able to have an opinion. So, like, they've got a original plain, just like it doesn't even say glaze, but I'm assuming it just means like a normal cinnamon donut.
That's what I assumed as well. Yeah,
that's why I'm picturing as well.
Yeah,
and they said it with a Chardonnay, and I can understand why they say like Chardonnay is already very old fashioned, like, but for some reason people still drink it. Like, it's what my mum like drank a lot when she was younger, and still goes on with her friends and stuff like that. But like, it's really dry. And this is the thing. Well, I feel like when you take a sip and then have a bite of your donut, that like the donut's just actively going to sponge and expand in your mouth, like instantly.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be like that. That one I can kind of not get around, to be honest. Like you need a bit of cream or something that just activates it a little bit.
I always see a Chardonnay as like the plain wine. Like for someone who just goes, I'm not in the mood to really drink like any specialty white, or I'm not in the mood to drink any specialty red. I just want a plain wine. And the first thing I think when it comes to my mind is a Chardonnay straight away.
Or for someone who's just keen as a bean to get white girl wasted but doesn't know anything about wine, they can just go get on the Chardonnay. Well, Chardonnay. It sounds fancy when you say it as well.
The early 20s, from it's not like saying I've done a big survey, but like I've spoken to a few people, and apparently the white choice at the moment is either Prosecco or Moscato.
Oh,
People
yeah.
really seem to like really oversweet wines. I don't
My
know if it's
cousin-
because they've been drinking cider forever and they just think this is the adulthood equivalent, or
Yeah.
My cousin, she is obsessed with Moscato. Like, every time I speak to her, she's like, I'm going up to the shop to buy myself a couple bottles of Moscato and put them away. She's obsessed with the thing.
Michael, is your cousin between the ages of 18 and 22?
Yes. Yeah, she was 22. She's now 23.
Okay, all right, close enough.
moving,
All right,
moving up the ladder quick.
fucking nailed it. Fucking nailed it. And I know. And let me tell you why. So, like I've said, this is the one. It's not really a hospo hell story, but it's like, I mean, it's kind of like a hospo. Holy shit! Didn't see that one coming story. And it was just as the Moscato trend was coming in. So like it was in swing, but like people hadn't realized it was in full swing yet. If that makes sense. Businesses hadn't quite caught up to the trend, but it was like it was in. And so I was a bartender for an 18th birthday. And that night, so this bar that I worked in had two levels. It was a top floor and a bottom floor, and we had two separate functions going on that night. On the top floor, there was an 18th, and on the bottom floor was a police officer's retirement party.
Oh,
Just like two completely opposite ends of the spectrum. Now, both parties were pretty good. I mean, nobody got crazy or anything like that, and everybody was civil and it was all grouse, but they had vastly different like drinking patterns. Like the police officers would all drink, I mean, you'd have your standard, like people would just, tap beers and what have you. And then, your reds, like but I was like, oh, that's a pretty stock standard kind of selection of booze that they were drinking. And of course, the bar was 100% prepared for that. Not a problem. Upstairs though, 100%, we were like, the taps are going to get a flogging. Everybody's going to want to drink beer like there's no tomorrow. And then we'll probably go through a fair bit of wine, but we were expecting to go through a fair bit of like white wine or maybe even the red wine, just because like people go, it's red, it looks fancy. Everybody wanted the Moscato, and it wasn't just a Moscato on its. I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was called pink Moscato specifically, and it's a Moscato that is pink. I mean, it does what it says on the tin, and
that means it's just got a little bit of red in it.
I think so. Yeah,
like almost got a rosé, but it's right there.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's precisely what it is. And I'm not even kidding. Fucking everybody, like every single person at this 18th who was like basically between the ages of 18 and 22, like except for like, the parents who were paying for the whole fucking thing, they were drinking normal shit. Every single person was like pink Moscato, except for one lady who wanted a white wine with a sprinkle of lemonade in it. And I was like, I could just give you a sparkling white and it's literally the same thing. No, this is what I want. I'm like, okay. But what ended up happening is that like I had to stop being a bartender. So we had another person who was bartending and I was like running back and forth between the bar and the bottle room, grabbing bottles of pink Moscato. And then we had a problem. And the problem was the Moscato wasn't cooling fast enough in the fridge before more people wanted it. So I ended up raiding the fridge downstairs in the downstairs bar and grabbing all their Moscato and swapping it out for the stuff I'd pulled out of the bottle room. Just to like have it cool as I'm like, running the bottles upstairs and stuff. And so I ended up having this kind of like production line where I'd pull wines out of the bottle room, which was like just, ambient room temperature, and then putting it in the fridge to cool it because people drink Moscato. It's like not zero. It's like, I don't know, like, 1 or 2 degrees is typically, people like to drink it at. Or at least that's how we were serving it to them, and they were rapt about that. I don't know if that's actually how you do it. I mean, I shouldn't judge an 18-year-old's tastes in wine and go, that's how you should drink wine.
I'm still picturing you, John, just like stealing all of these Moscatos and not trying to seem like he's trying to be as covert as possible as you sneak back upstairs. Very much John McLeish, the Moscato smuggler.
Yeah, that's kind of what was happening.
It sounds like something from Die Hard, if I'm being honest.
I mean, that's kind of what was happening.
Heist.
Yeah, it's kind of what was happening because like I went into that bar and of course the bartender looks at me and goes, the fuck you doing down here? Like, you're working upstairs tonight. I'll be like, listen, I need the, how are they doing for the Moscato? And literally nobody was using the Moscato. Like, nobody was buying it downstairs. And I said, is anybody buying it? They're like, no, not really. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to take every single bottle out of your fridge. And she was
just start bartering with the downstairs bartender. Like, come on, man. Just give me 2.
But like, and the bartender just looks at me and she goes like, what the, like, why do you want all these? And I'm like, they are drinking it like fucking fish upstairs. It is unbelievable. I've never seen this before. I can't, she was like, okay, all right. And so I just like ran back and forth. Like, and they had like 12 bottles of wine in that fridge and we went through every single one of them. just in that downstairs
Jesus.
fridge. And then I had to
Wow.
replace them. And then I'm not even kidding. By the end of the night, we were down to 1 bottle of Moscato.
Oh my god.
1 bottle. We had 1 bottle left. And it was
I will
open.
honestly say with Moscato, if you're sophisticated enough, you'll have it at, like, as you said, Johnny, 1 or 2 degrees. But if you're, as you said, 18-year-old, then, of course, you're like, I don't care what the weather is. It's alcohol. I need to get white girl wasted tonight.
I mean, that was kind of what was happening because we weren't like even with using the 2 fridge system, we weren't able to keep the wine cool because I mean it's a lot of liquid in a full bottle of wine. The thermal transfer properties aren't that efficient. It takes I don't know 20 minutes I'd say to get it cool, maybe even longer. I don't know, just thinking off the top of my head, probably more. In fact, it probably definitely is more. Anybody who's listening to this podcast knows I'm shit at maths. Do not trust me when it comes to maths.
Question without notice for you two. Have you ever gone to a party or you hosted a party or you went to a friend's party and you're broke as fuck and you go, all right, the only thing I can really afford is a bottle of Moscato, and you've just, bitten the bullet and gone, I'm going to buy a bottle of Moscato and try and get drunk off this. Have you ever gone through that stage at all when you go to a party?
If I really am penny pinching, I do really like the bargain bin that's in the front of Dan's. I really enjoy having a rummage. It's like going to the Lost and Found at a random old sports complex and just seeing if you can find a new hoodie. He was like, "Oh, this could be good. Oh, what a bargain!"
I'll be honest. I never got invited to enough parties often enough that was ever a problem.
I was John.
Johnny.
Let me give you a cuddle and a bottle of Moscato.
It sounds bad, but it's really not. I'm pretty happy with like that aspect of my life. But that it just meant that was never a problem. So when I did start going to parties where we would drink, I always bought the same thing because I knew it was guaranteed to get me wrecked, and that was I'd buy a bottle of Canadian Club whiskey and a 2-liter bottle of Coca-Cola, which I then switched over to vanilla Coke because that's even better. And that was it. That's what I would drink, and I'd drink a whole bottle of whiskey, and that'd get me done.
Oh my god, I feel dizzy just thinking about whiskey bottles. Ugh.
I'm staring at a few right now as we speak.
Just kind of bring it back to what we were talking about, donuts. Like, and we're talking about Moscato. It's like I'm trying to rummage off what donut could actually go with a Moscato, and there are a few choices, but I don't think you're not going to be as satisfied with a donut. I think a Moscato goes perfectly with baklava.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Ooh.
No, you know what?
Go on, Locke.
No, hang on. Just to think about donuts though, I reckon with a Moscato, because a Moscato is very sweet. I reckon you got to go with something that's kind of like
Have you had a baklava? It's all sugar and nuts.
No, it is. I know baklava. Like I could only eat. I ate it once, and it was like. I mean, by the end of it, I looked like I looked like fucking Tony Montana at the end of Scarface. Is what I looked like at the end. No, but you're right. It is super sweet. But like I'm just thinking about like. A pairing that is a donut, which is also like going to be way less messy, and I reckon the Krispy Kreme original glazed donut.
Ooh!
So really specifically, like the classic glazed donut, that would go well with a Moscato, I reckon.
Yeah, because you don't want any creams in there.
No, not at all. Yeah, and realistically, the glazing is going to give you just a little bit of the sweetness, but not too much.
Yeah, no, I think I'm with you, John. I think that's not a bad pick at all.
Yeah,
I agree as well. I was going to say strawberries and cream, but no, I think yours is a bit more logical, Johnny, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, strawberries and cream is good, but I think that's way too overpowering. Like, I feel like you'd want to go with a wine. Like, for strawberries and cream, you'd probably want to go with, like, a red. Like, something that's going to have a little bit more bite to it.
Well, it's like they've got a strawberry frosted with a rosé, and that's got a bit more icing on it. And sprinkles. You can't take the sprinkles out of context here as well, guys. You got to remember that there's still going to be a bit of a crunch element. So the rosé will blend well.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah. It really depends on the glaze, though, like how much sugar is in that glaze. That's why I said Krispy Kreme, because you want something like where they're making it on the cheap, so they're probably going to skimp out on some of the sugar.
Yeah. It's interesting that, like, out of all, like, they've got the pretty stock standard wines here, but they don't talk about Burgundies at all. Like, I understand Burgundies are expensive and they're not going to be the average person, but if they're mentioning Chenin Blanc, honorable mention a bloody Burgundy.
Well, this is made by a company that sells $700 like wine openers, fucking
Well, exactly
some
right.
like
What do you think
Inspector
their customer
Gadget
base
level
is
shit.
buying?
Like this is like they sell the bottle opener that Batman has.
Literally.
But
Let's
I will
make a
say
meme out of
that-
it, John. We need to tell the world about the super special bowl opener.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get sponsored by Caravan.
Oh my God, Locke, that's a great idea. We've actually got our own. We should try and get our own sponsor. We should try and get these
Let's
guys
just
to
do a
sponsor
quick-
this.
Let's just do a quick little plug.
No, we'll do the whole halfway part mark where we'll go. Okay, guys, we'll be back after this quick word from our sponsors and do like a 30 to 45-second plug and go. And now back to the rest of the podcast. Hi guys, welcome
if you're
back.
listening to this, we're here to support you and your $675 product.
Oh no, I'm not against it. Like if you reckon if you've got a customer who's willing to drop $675 on a bottle opener, fucking
To be fair,
bonza.
like, this is a kit. You get more than just a bottle opener.
Oh, do ya? Is
Yeah,
it like
you
a
get
whole?
2 Caravan capsules.
Oh right, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it comes with a baggie and 2 nangs. So yeah, you got a little bit of everything for that price. You're right.
And it comes with an aerator as well. So when you open that bottle of wine, you're able to like lock it in as well.
Or that
Make sure
balloon.
you keep your wine crisp.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, it's all there. It's fucking great. But like anyway,
I think the most fanciest wine accessory though would have to be people who have portable wine cases.
I've never heard of this actually.
Jimmy Butler has one.
what the fuck is a wait? Is okay. Hang on. Before I Google it, I'm just going to
It's
describe.
It's literally a big suitcase that like is just meant for storing wine.
That is exactly what I had in my head. What I had in my head was like the nuclear football, but instead of like having like the big red button to end the world in it, it's a bottle of Cab Sav.
Yes, literally, because I'm pretty sure you can get ones that it's like intercooled, so like you can keep your wine at like a certain temp. Like you can get some pretty crazy ones.
I've actually just Googled search wine cases, and the first thing that popped up was a wine travel bag.
Yeah, literally.
Portable.
Like if you type in Jimmy Butler wine case or something, he's got a sick one.
Portable wine case, Jimmy Butler. I got pictures of him, of his phone. I got pictures of him in his Miami Heat jersey. By the way, the Miami Heat jersey, can I just say, is my favorite design. I love it. I love it.
Are you talking about just the normal one, or are you talking about the Miami Vice one? The Miami Vice one's dead.
The light blue and pink one.
Yeah,
that's
the normal
the
one.
Miami Vice one.
Oh, is it? Well, I love it. Fucking love it.
Jimmy Butler wine case. Oh yeah, he talks about it in GQ. That's right. Here it is.
Oh, you got a picture?
I got a picture.
Oh, here we go.
This can be the photo we use for promos.
I don't know.
I'm
I'm tempted to use this picture of Jimmy Butler like in the Miami Vice outfit because fuck, he looks good. Damn, I love that jersey. Oh, I want one.
I love InCityPages.com. The byline that you're going with is maybe Jimmy Butler should start going by Jimmy Bottles.
Oh, here we go. Jimmy Butler travels with wine case. Oh, here we go. Here's the article.
You got the photo?
I haven't got the photo. I've got an article. Here we go. Let's see.
Scroll down, like it's there. If it's like them talking about Louis Vuitton stuff, just keep scrolling.
I got a picture of Mark Wahlberg with a bottle of wine on his Instagram.
Yeah, he's apparently a wine collector as well.
I can totally see.
He also collects wine.
Here we go. All right. I don't know if this is probably coming through. What's this? Come on.
This makes great audio listening.
yeah. You're probably just listening to like Mark Wahlberg.
This is
top.
literally the audio version of buffering.
Nope.
It's coming.
I thought he was gonna show the case, but he wasn't. He was just like, I'm here drinking wine in Boston.
Well, it as you said, John. It looks like a nuclear. I'll send you the photo after the cast, but it looks like he's just walking around with a nuclear.
Yeah. That's exactly what I had in my head. That's exactly what I expect a portable wine case to look like. And so like I'm glad that it delivers 100%. Oh, here we go. No, I got to know this now. Oh shit. Damn, that's way bigger. Holy fuck.
It's huge.
Fucking hell. That's way bigger than I was expecting. I was expecting something a bit smaller that you'd hold like one bottle in, like.
No, I think it's like multiple bottles.
Yeah, bro. That guy's fucking loaded for bear. Like, holy shit.
Now,
like
the one thing I can take away from this podcast and what I've learned today is there's so many more wine accessories than I thought there should be.
There really are. There's a whole wide world of wine accessories that like I just didn't know even existed. Holy shit.
But there's these things like they're like they're called whiskey sippers, but like you can use them for like port and stuff as well. But they're literally like a glass like egg vasey thing that you originally is like the main chamber, and you pull your liquid into that, and then it has like a glass spout that kind of aerates it as you go. So it kind of looks like a real like a glass. It looks like a crack pipe, to be quite honest. But
I thought it was like I thought you were going to go like it's a bong for your booze.
It's like designed for whiskey, and like you like literally just sip on it, and it like travels up the spout, and it like aerates it.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay, yeah. I'm still looking at this case. Holy shit! Like that's like you walk up to a party like that, and like you're getting fucked up. Oh my god!
I just laugh though if he just opens it up and it's just like Fruity Lexia, dude, passion pop, dude.
No.
Follow a car ghoulie.
You want that goon? I got you, fam. Bam.
I was actually thinking for the 100th episode of Pint Party, could we actually try and see if we can get ourselves like a Pint Party custom made wine case?
Man, we're not even at 50 yet, but sure, we got time.
Yeah,
no, we'll get there.
Maybe I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to look into it. But like,
we'll look into the resources and R&D, and we'll see what we can spin out.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it'll probably just be me with the gaffer tape and a cardboard box, just being like, "Here you go." This is really interesting, though. People actually have the time now to think of stupid things like donuts and wine.
Oh, that's the thing. Like the content that's coming out of the internet these days is insane. It used to be in the old world. In the old world, back in my day, you'd have the same, like, someone would create a meme, and then that meme would be remixed and remixed constantly for the next, like, 3 months to 3 months plus. And then another meme would come along, and people would jump onto that one. But then the old memes would come back for a bit. And you still have that because you've got, like, the classic hits, right, that come back. SpongeBob likes to make an appearance quite often. But these days, every single fucking day, there's a new meme. Every single day. Every single day. It's great. Oh my God. Never has there been a better time for dumb shit on the internet.
It's a great day. It's a great period for trolling.
Oh, it really is. It's a beautiful day for memes. It really is.
But, it's always nice to learn that someone's actually thought that, sour cream donuts would go well with prosecco.
Yeah. I've never heard of a sour cream donut, I'll be honest. Like, and actually,
I don't know if it's smeared like a bagel or if it's just,
That's what I'm wondering. Like, if you're smearing sour cream on a donut, I feel like you're doing something wrong. But somebody must be doing it. It's probably a New York thing. That's probably what it is. Those New Yorkers do all sorts of crazy shit. This is an
Australian brand. Like, why would they do this?
Because New York are the trendsetters for these sorts of things. Like, I'm guaranteeing you, somebody's done something stupid. And
I find it weird that they've done all these wines. They've actually done none with an actual dessert wine, like a muscat.
Yeah, that's a bit strange. But maybe they were just going for okay, here are the heavy hitters. Here are your like WWE superstars, right? And here's the pairing.
Because really, everyone drinks Mont Blanc.
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard of anyone in Australia who actually drinks that.
No, me neither. But that being said, though, we don't move in those circles, so maybe it's a lot more common than we think.
Every time I look at the word Cab Sav on that little list there, I think of people who live in the rich area of Melbourne, like Toorak, Brighton, St Kilda, like that general area. I can see people drinking Cab Sav and buying like bottles and bottles and bottles and bottles of it.
Yeah.
If you're interested to know about like the more stuff of wine, look up Sour Grapes on. I think it's on Netflix at the moment. It's a really good documentary about how just like schemed everyone out of wine. It's really good.
Yeah, cool. But look, let's move on. So we got a whole bunch of donut and wine pairings here, and they're really cool. I don't know. We might post this to Instagram or something like that. But I want to move on to something that Lockie brought up before the cast. Lockie was literally like, "All right, how about like what's the deal with Le Snack? How do you eat it?" So just to provide a little bit of context, because like not everybody had Le Snack growing up.
No, it's like cheddar cream.
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah. It's like not quite. It's like what do I call it? Newtonian fluid cheese.
Literally, like it's yellow goo.
Yeah, it's yellow.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yellow goo that maybe at some point came from a cow,
Yeah.
paired with crackers.
Also, Les Snack had the most iconic ad of all time as well, with the little kid and the monkey at the zoo.
Oh fucking A. Yeah, they did. That's why that's why they were the god tier of that snack category of the cheese and biscuit snack at the schoolyard.
Recess snack.
It's funny.
The backyard, schoolyard snack.
Yeah. It was also, and I mean the price matched. Like it was like the most expensive of them as well. I think it was like, it's like $7 odd bucks. I think for a pack of them.
You can get the value pack these days for like $6.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like back in primary school, you were not a cool kid unless you were having the snack for recess.
That's right.
If you weren't having the snack for recess,
like
you were uncool.
Yeah.
And you'd be openly mocked if you had the home brand, no name brand one, which was literally the same thing.
Snack, bro.
I'm pretty sure it all came from the same fucking factory because it all tastes the same. But
literally,
it's funny.
But is there a correct way to eat it? Because let's break it down.
Yeah,
you're not just you have a cracker shortage is the main problem. There's only 3 crackers.
that's right.
And
Yeah,
a very limited amount of dip.
that's it. And there's no cutlery to provide it to spread that on. So you can't even bring out a third of the cheese. You're either getting all of it or you're getting none of it.
Exactly.
It's fucked. But it's like I suppose it really comes down to how much you like that cheese.
This is the thing. There's no community service. I haven't heard anything. The snack saying, "How do I eat your biscuits?" Because even in the ads that you said, Michael, they don't actually show the kid eating the biscuits. I think it's just him nibbling on it. But is that the correct way? Am I meant to double dip? Granted, it's a serving for one, but what if you're sharing? You could possibly, you don't want to be double dipping. So do you snap the crackers? I'm a snapper, is what I am. I'm
an unintentional snapper because you dip and the thing will break.
Yeah.
Well, it depends how much torque you're putting on those rips. If you're dipping quite aggressively, you do have the more potential to snap.
That's true. Maybe I'm just too aggressive. I'm just like, just fuck me up with that cheese.
I'm too excited getting into this cheese.
Well, it's actually a good talking point too, because you look at something like Oreo. At least at Oreo, during the ads, they actually tell you how to do the Oreo or how to eat an Oreo properly, which is the twist, the dunk, and the eats.
The new ad pretty much says, "We don't care how you eat Oreos, just eat Oreos." And go through all the ways people are eating Oreos. And they're like, "We don't care."
I you know what? I respect that ad though. I respect the brutal honesty in the ad. It's sort of like once we take your money, we don't give a fuck. Eat Oreos. That's great.
It munches down into black paste in your stomach anyway.
Yeah, it all comes out the same in the end. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm okay with that being an ad. But just going back to the snack, I'm personally of the opinion, and this is through, I want to say, 15 years of trial and error, having grown up, with either not really eating Le Snack specifically, but cheese and biscuit products that are the same as Le Snack, but never that actual brand. At least not until I was in high school, anyway.
What was the one that you got with it came with little bits of ham as well? They came in a kit.
Oh, that was the one. That was the one they sold for adults.
I forgot. I think I had that when I was in grade 4 for a couple of months, or for a school term. I was always bringing that to school with me for recess. I was like,
I'd always get given one if I was going on excursion. I don't know why.
No, I remember those. They used to. They came. Some of them were came in really fancy packaging and stuff because they were trying to sell them to office workers who wanted who were basically treated so shit they'd have 5 minutes for lunch. So you could eat this thing in 5 minutes and feel like you've gotten a meal. You got some biscuits, you got some cheese, and you got some ham. And then they expanded out. I remember that it went into a whole craze. They started doing crackers and tuna. Just straight up, they just put a can of tuna next to some biscuits and sell that, which I hated.
Mix it up. And then they said they did a cheese and chorizo one. It was just a slightly spicy salami.
Yep, no, they did that. I remember that one. They did cheese and chorizo. Vegemite got in on the fun as well and made a Vegemite one with biscuits. That was just fucking insane. It was just you got the biggest glob of Vegemite, and that being said though, I'm pretty sure you got 4 or 5 crackers in that one. So you got a fair chunk of
crack.
of crack right there for your veg, straight up. And they came with a little plastic tool to spread it on. Like they really thought it through.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I like the little plastic knife. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, a little red piece
It
of
wasn't
plastic.
even a knife, bro. It was like a little.
Oh, no, it
spoon.
wasn't. Yep. Yeah, sorry. Yep. Wasn't there like a peanut butter one there too?
Yeah, they did. It came from the same company.
It's the same thing when Nutella did the single serves, and it literally just comes with this little oh fuck.
Yeah, it was a little
What's it
like
called?
it was a little like spatula type.
What a
thing.
concrete is used to like smooth out the.
Yeah, yeah. But that
what's
one
it
actually
called?
had shape though.
Tray? No. What's it called?
Yeah, a mortarboard.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
But like, yeah, that one, the Nutella one actually had shape to it though. Like it looked like somebody had actually designed it. Whereas the Vegemite one, it was just sort of like they just had a really fucking long piece of plastic and they just cut it. And that was all the design work done was like, how long do we make this piece of plastic? That was it. There was no other thought. It was just a rectangle.
It sounded like a 30-minute job with the Vegemite one from what you said, Johnny.
Yeah, no, the Nutella one, you really did understand that it was an Italian company doing the whole thing because like the little mortarboard spreader thing was like shaped and, you know, kind of like it had this sort of like really extended teardrop type of design to it and everything. That was one I'm intimately familiar with because I fucking love Nutella. Oh my God, that was my childhood. By the way, so the other week I got a little snack, just like somebody had one and they just I can't like just through the great, you know, through the river of acquisition, a little snack arrived into my possession. And it's funny, I looked at it and I still like as a 26-year-old man, I looked at it and went, "Ooh, that's fancy."
So what was the nostalgic nostalgic trip down like when you got given that?
There wasn't one. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't nostalgia. My first look at it was like, oh, I'm going to eat something fancy. That's what my brain said to me. That was my first instinct that came through. And then I ate the thing and then I went, this is good, but I'm an adult with my own money now. Like I could afford to buy as much of this as I want. But so why don't I? And I realized that the reason why I didn't is because my brain thinks it's fancy and therefore holds the idea that it's expensive when it's not. Like I said, it's like $6 a pack. Like I could have a shitload of these. I could eat 2 a day every day. You know, I could fucking like drown myself in gooey cheese and I'd still have money left over. But
if you have a bad day again where, you know, you accidentally take a bit too much off your mustache, you can just, you know, drain your sorrows in that.
Fucking A, I could. But I don't because in my brain it's still considered a fancy, like, expensive item.
Well, it's the same. I don't know if it's like going against that. When I eat cheesels, it is such a thing you've got to do. But I feel like it's the only practical way of eating cheesels is putting them on individual fingers and then eating them like
yes,
like a kebab, like a kebab.
Yes,
you know?
yes,
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
That's how you eat cheesels.
But if you do that as an adult. Do you just get looked at like a child? I don't know. I just like that's the most practical way of eating. I feel like a Neanderthal if I'm just shoving handfuls of cheesels in my mouth. Well, that's when I just feel a bit slobbish.
Cheesaloo.
Do you stop at 10 pieces of cheesels or do you actually keep going until there's nothing left in the
I'll
box?
reset. Like I'll do 10 and then I'll reload.
Oh yeah. No, you
remember, Michael. You've got to make sure you lick your fingers.
That's right. You're not
You've got to get all the seasoning.
Yeah, you're not a fucking animal.
No, of course not. You don't want to be double like starting layering cheese flavoring on your fingers because that's how you get build up.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. No, it's funny. You just made me realize. It's sort of like just thinking about like when I eat cheesels. Typically, if I'm eating cheesels, I'm eating them alone. So like, yeah, I'll put them on my hands and like nobody knows, or either that or. The cheesels are like, I mean, they're basically the food that like nobody touches at a party. You know what I mean? Like when you have the little bowls of chips and little bowls of whatever, like there'll be a bowl. If there's a bowl of cheesels there, it never gets touched until
because cheesels have a dead zone where like if they're out for too long, they start getting really too stale.
That's true, but
they become stale within like 3 hours. You leave them out in the open.
Oh, they absolutely do. They dehydrate quick. But here's the thing. Come, you know, like this is like I'm talking like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, right? And you got all the bowls out, and everybody's having the nice, you know, civilized conversation. You got the music going and everything like that. Everyone's having a good time. Come 1:30 in the morning, when everybody is fucking rooted everybody is rat shit drunk, that's when the cheesels get eaten. That is when the cheesels get eaten. And so at that point, when you're like a bottle of whiskey in, you don't give a shit if anybody sees you put the cheesels on your fingers. In fact, everybody's putting cheesels on their fingers because it's funny. So then you eat it that way, and it's not socially unacceptable. So maybe the only socially acceptable way to eat cheesels in front of other people is to like do it when you're completely tanked.
Look, there shouldn't be any kind of social barrier between you and cheesels. Like, you shouldn't have to feel bad about indulging some cheesels.
You're absolutely right. Maybe we should
and
make a stand.
You don't have to fully load. Remember, it's on you. You can do 5. You can do 2 cheeses eating it. You don't have to fully load.
That's true. That's true. Or you could be. I mean, Dave for some reason has gotten really into like using his middle finger for everything. So he could just load up his middle finger with cheesels, and that's it. And he could just do that one finger, and and he's totally fine. And I think we should make a stand on this podcast right now, make a declaration. Right, my name is John McLeish, and I eat cheesels by wearing them as rings. That's how I do it. That's the only correct way to eat cheesels.
I am Lachlan Beasley, and I eat cheesels off my fingers.
I'm Michael Thompson, and I like to make sure that there were 5 cheesels on one side of my hand before I eat them.
Fair enough.
Good man. You got to keep one free. You know, just depends on your lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly.
How many you put on your fingers is it totally up to you. If you can be a 1 finger man, 4 fingers and a thumb, however you want to do it is up to you.
I think Weet-Bix have completely ripped off. Have just absolutely cheated cheesels here. Like, how many do you do? Well, I do 10. God, that's brave.
Fuck, that's a good question. How many? Yeah, see, that becomes the question. But see, no, I don't want that to be the question.
I think most couch potatoes will be like a whole packet.
I don't want that to be the question, and here's why. I don't want that to be the question because that implies pride. That implies that the more cheesels you do, the better, the more, I don't know, masculine, machismo, better, the more successful you are as a human being. And I don't want that to be the case. Anybody can eat any amount of cheesels off their fingers as they like. It doesn't matter how many you do. You do 1,
right,
you do
John.
10. It's up to you.
There is no unacceptable number of cheesels per finger.
Fucking
per
A-right.
ratio.
Fucking A-right. Yeah. Don't bring pride into it. That's how I feel. And with that,
such a Yang thing, though. I was going to say that's such a Yang thing, though. He's always got pride in some capacity. So if he was talking to us today on this podcast, he'd be bringing pride into it somehow.
I guarantee you that I'm going to get a DM from him at some point, and he's going to tell me. He's going to give me a number. He's going to say, "This is my number," and like I'm going to have to make a post out of that. But with that, we'll leave it there. So I want to thank my guests for joining me today, Lachlan Beasley and Michael Thompson. Boys, thank you.
Gracias.
And if you like this episode, please tell 2 friends in 2020. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we're everywhere you like to listen to podcasts. Please, hit subscribe or follow on your podcasting app of choice. It really helps us out a lot. And if you want to keep up with all of our gimmicks and, keep up with the updates to our gimmicks, because there's going to be an update to this one. I mean, like I said, I'm pretty sure Dave's going to tell me how many cheesels he does. I got to see like this, the donut wine pairings. We'll make a post out of that in some way. All of that is going to be on our Instagram at pint.party. And we're also, I've through the magic of macros, we're also on Twitter at Pint Party. We don't advertise the Twitter that much because it doesn't get used that much, not as much as Instagram anyway. But if Twitter's more your platform of choice, I mean, I just said I don't use Facebook, and even though I do use Instagram, but if you're just like completely away from the Zuck, yeah, we're on Twitter as well at Pint Party. We're also, if you're looking for something to watch during the week, I'm also streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/Pint Party, and it's really just some background listening you can put on. At the moment, I'm playing Exapunks, so if you want to watch me, do the metaphorical equivalent of slamming my head against a brick wall, that's where we'll be. And of course, if you don't want to watch it live, because I do that Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and Monday from 2 to 4:30 p.m. But if you don't want to watch it live, and for all sorts of various reasons, you miss it, or you're in a different part of the world, or what have you, if you just search Pint Party on YouTube, or check the link in our bio on either Twitter or Instagram. There's a link there to our YouTube channel where I've got all of the streams archived in separate archives. So I've got one called Retro Gimmicks where I play SimCity 2000. We build a city. And then we've got Gimmick Punk where I play Exapunks and do the proverbial head slamming. So
Lots of stuff going on here at Pint Party.
There's heaps. Oh, absolutely. Like if you're looking for something to watch or listen to at all during this lockdown, we have got you covered. Absolutely. Like from all the way
Never
down.
stops.
And if this podcast has inspired you to buy a wine case or a special wine opener, please let us know. I'd love to see if this actually had any effect.
Please do. Hit us up. Send us a DM at pint.party. Send us a DM or shoot us a private message on Twitter at Pint Party. Although I don't know if the private message thing on Twitter is open. I don't know if the DMs are open, or I don't know how to do that. I don't send private messages to people on Twitter, so I don't know how any of that bit works. But if it does, give it a go.
We'll work it out for you guys.
We'll figure it out. Please let us know your experience with it.
Let us know how bougie you are. I would like to know.
Well, I want to know if it worked. I want to know the story behind the purchase. I want to know what situation you found yourself in where you're like, I need to spend $700 on a bottle opener. Like I need this to happen. So I want to know. And with that, sorry?
No, go. That's fine.
Oh, okay, no, I thought you had an extra thing there right as I was about to end, which is not an uncommon thing on Pint Party. With that, this has been Pint Party. Oh my god! Let me end the fucking podcast.
All right, take 3, boys.
With that, this has been Pint Party. Cheers.
Cheers.
This podcast is part of the Hard Effect Podcast Network. For more of this and our other podcasts, head to hardeffectstudios.com.au.